It's one of the most horrific criminal cases in Fresno history. In 1991, Rudolph Acosta convicted of being a serial rapist. At the time of the case, there were 8 victims. Acosta was sentenced to 78 years in prison, but at the end of the month, a parole hearing will happen, and Acosta could actually be released from prison early after only serving 28 years. The Fresno City Council drafting a letter to Governor Newsom opposing the parole hearing. The letter now on the governor's desk. Will he respond? Joining me now, one of the victims, Myrna Garcia, who was 16 years old when this happened, and District 3 Fresno City Councilman Miguel Arias, who represents the Tower District. Thank you for being here, first and foremost. Myrna, I want to come to you first. The day you received that letter from the parole board, what were you feeling, and what was your initial reaction?
Actually, it was difficult to take it in. I had forgotten that this day would come. I was so young when it happened, so it wasn't in the forefront of my mind. So when I opened up the letter, it was just a mix of emotions. It took me 3 days to digest what I was reading.
Miguel, City Council drafting that letter to the governor this last week, the message inside, and what would you like to see him do?
You know, the message for the governor that we send as a unified council and unified city is that release for good behavior is meant for nonviolent offenders, not for serial rapists. And people like Myrna or no other Fresno should live in fear of a serial rapist coming out, because there's nothing that they can do to justify good behavior after 25 years.
Is that the explanation that you guys are getting? Good behavior?
So what he did are immutable factors, is what I was told. It's going to be based on his behavior while in prison, in a controlled environment where there's no females.
Myrna, if the governor does not respond to the letter from the Fresno City Council, what does that mean to you? What would that say?
That he's willing to let someone who hurt so many out at the risk of another individual. They're going to give him a chance. He may commit the same crime again and hurt someone like he hurt all of us, and not just us, the victims, but our families.
You know, if Acosta is released, Miguel, he could be placed back in Fresno. I mean, I think that's what we're expecting. If that happens, sadly, what do you tell residents?
Well, you know, unfortunately, that's actually his plan, as he's outlined, is to return to Fresno and be with the relative that he hasn't seen in years. The fact is, and what we've communicated to the governor as recent as today, is he doesn't have a plan. He is not being remorseful. The facts and the evidence are clear. He's still a predator, and he's still a danger to anybody in our city. So we're hopeful that this governor will listen to the pleas of a unified city, irrespective of political parties, that this is a real threat. And this is not the reason why the reforms in criminal justice took place. People like this belong behind bars for a lifetime.
Myrna, I could only imagine that you're feeling victimized again. Do you feel the justice system here in California is not working for victims like you?
You know, I never been much into politics. Never had really looked into how this works. And right now that I'm going through this, it makes me realize that there needs to be change for the better of the community and our families. There's something wrong when you're told that someone who's committed so many crimes, and 8 are just the ones that had enough evidence to move forward with the trial. There was more of us. There's more of us that will not be going to the parole hearing, that are not being heard.
More than 8?
There's definitely more than 8.
Definitely more than 8?
Yes.
But that was not in the case back in 1991.
You know, and I don't, like I said, I was 16. I was really young. But there was definitely a lot more victims. I've actually been in communication with a few that are not going to be able to go to the hearing. It's important. Something has to change. Something's not right if they're actually considering letting someone like Rudolph Acosta come out into our community, and he wants to come back into the Tower District, just 10 miles from where I live. Why? Why should he be given an opportunity, a chance, to see if he's ready to be back in our community, and at the cost of what? They're going to give him a chance, but at the cost of someone like me, someone like your mother, your daughter. It just doesn't seem right. Something has to change, and I don't know what it is yet, but I'm not going to stop until this man stays where he is, or the whole community is aware of what he's done, who he is, so he doesn't live in peace like I have not.
Well, your message is loud and clear, and we'll see how the parole board handles this. We'll see if the governor responds, and we'll hopefully see that in the coming days. I appreciate you both being here.